In this video, we are going to study destructuring. The idea of destructuring is to make it easier to get values from an object or an array and put them into variables. Let's see an example. Here we have this person object, and as you can see, it has these properties: first name, last name, age, and current date. Let's say that I want to get in a variable these three properties: first name, last name, and age. For that, I can do the following. I can say const first name equal to person dot first name, then const last name equal to person last name, and finally const age equal to person age. That is fine in general, but we can abbreviate this. Instead of doing this, I can comment this out and use destructuring. For that, I have to do the following. I will say const, and then I will open curly brackets. And in here, I will say first name, last name, and age, and this is equal to person. And that's actually it. With this, we have destructured our object into these three variables that we have here. What this is doing, this is just a shorthand. This is a shorthand for all of this that we did here. We are saying that first name is going to be a constant that will be equal to person.firstname, the same for last name, and the same for age. I can prove that to you. I can say console log, and I will just say first name, and I want to go to the terminal, new terminal, node destructuring, enter, and as you can see, we have Felipe here, which is this variable that I have here, which means that indeed we use destructuring to decompose our person object into these three variables that we have here. Now, of course, notice that these variables have the same name as the properties of the object. For example, first name and first name. I cannot say first name 2, for example, because then this will be undefined. Let me say first name 2 here, and let me save. Node destructuring, enter, and as you can see, we have undefined here. So we have to use the exact same property name in the variable that we're putting the value of that property. And this is really cool because we can also use it, for example, and let me hide this terminal by using Ctrl+T in Windows. This is really cool because something that we do is to use it with a value that is returned by a function. For example, let's say get address, and I will say here arrow function return an object, and I will say street 1, country 1, and state 1. Now let's say that I want to get a street and country from this function. How can we do that? Well, we can say const street and country equal to get address, and that's it. With this, street is equal to street 1 and country is equal to country 1. Something else that we can do is to destructure the parameter of a function. For example, let's come down here and I will say print name equal to person. This is the parameter, and here is the body of the function, and I will say console log person.firstname. So what I'm doing here is that I am receiving a person and printing his first name. Now, what if I don't want to do this? What if I don't want to have to say person.firstname? What if I just want to destructure this parameter and put this first name property in a variable as a parameter of the function? We can do that. Let me say here print name2 equal to, and here I will say curly brackets, and I will say first name, and then I can do the following. I can say console log just first name, and in this way, whatever the object I pass into this print name2 function, we are going to extract its first name property we're going to put it here in this variable, and then we will be able to use it. Let's see an example. Let me say print name2, and I will pass our person, and you are going to see that we will get my first name printed in the console. So let me say control backtick, and let's say here node destructuring, enter, and as you can see we have my name here, which is great. Until now we have used destructuring only for objects, but we can definitely use them for arrays. For example, let me comment this out and let's come down here, and I will say array 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me put it in a variable const array equal to this. Now I can do the following. Let's say that I only want the first, second, and fourth value of this array, and I want to put them in variables. For that I can say const square brackets first, second, comma, comma, fourth equal to r. And that's actually it. With this, what I'm saying is that I want the first value of the array to be here, the second value to be here, and since I am using two commas, it means that I am stepping over the third value and going directly into the fourth value. So fourth will be equal to 4. And I can prove that to you. I can say console log, let's say second for example, and I can save. I can go back to the terminal, node destructuring, and here as you can see we have 2 because this variable that we have here is equal to 2.